Hey Alice, welcome back. You caught us at a new studio space. This is the first time we're trying this one out. Hospitality of the great and powerful David Pena, my co-host this evening and host for this space. And very special guest, Julia Hu, joins us as well. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here.
Happy to have you. You've got a new video out for one of your singles. What was the name of that single?
It's called Myself Somewhere.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Very trippy video.
Good.
I enjoyed that a lot.
What do you think about Graffiti Road in there?
That was sick.
Wasn't that cool?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Barry was like, "Do you think it's too much?" And I'm like, "No."
Like, no. Too much? No.
Absolutely not.
No, I thought it was great. You know, he did all the editing on that. I took the footage, but he smashed it together. So.
Yeah. Shout out to Barry Donegan.
Woo!
For the video editing and making people swole. And then you also have your album coming out.
Yes.
Shadow Self-Portrait. Releases May 7th.
Yeah.
So be on the lookout for that.
Really
exciting stuff.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's my debut solo artist EP. So yeah, I'm really stoked about it.
Where'd you record?
At a friend's house.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. It just was a very spontaneous enterprise. I mean, I knew that I had an EP inside of me, and I had a plan for it and everything. I just needed to kind of get it together. And then one day, my drummer for another band, Strawberry Berry.
Oh yeah.
You know Strawberry Berry?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know.
Oh yeah. So the drummer, Bruce Gutteridge, he and I were doing a little sort of sectional with the rhythm section. I was playing bass and he was playing drums, and I started playing that lick on Myself Somewhere, and he was like, "What's that?" I was like, "It's just one of my songs." And he was like, "You want to track it?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then it all went from there. So shout out to Bruce Gutteridge for producing and playing drums on this EP. And he mixed it all, and you know, I'm real grateful to him for putting all that together too. So yeah.
Right on. What brought you to Nashville?
Music, I guess. I mean,
it is Music City. So.
Right. I mean, I'm from Louisville.
Okay.
So I was just kind of like kept inching my way south. And then during COVID, you know, things were not happening, and I met some people down here and found a job down here that I really like. That I at Brantley Sound. Shout out to work. Oh my God. I love these guys.
Hell yeah.
So I started working there, and you know, playing cover nights and stuff like that, and just get my name out there.
What kind of music was in the house growing up? Like what your parents listened to in the car and stuff?
My dad listened to oldies.
Okay.
Almost
like how old?
Oldies. My parents are a little older. My dad's 80. So when I was growing up, he listened to the oldies station, like songs from the 50s and 60s.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And really, my mom, mostly it was like church music. So I was raised Catholic.
Okay.
And that's how I got started in music, was doing church choir and everything. My mom cantors for the church even now. That's
great practice.
Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, my whole background is in sort of classical music, and that started from singing in choir at church, and then I got a music degree at Western Kentucky for vocal music, and studied as a mezzo soprano.
Nice.
Yeah. Didn't start playing bass until I was almost about a year out from graduating from college, and then went from there and started playing rock music.
Hell yeah. Was that the first instrument you picked up? Besides vocals?
Well, I had to play piano.
Oh, okay.
For my
Sure,
degree.
sure. My mom plays church piano too.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not a great pianist, but I can do what I need to do on there, but yeah, so a few semesters of piano and then voice but I really I'd say the first instrument that really spoke to me and that I felt really comfortable with was the bass. So
when did that start? Like, when did that start, and when did the rock start?
okay, so when I was 21, I met a guy that I ended up dating for 9 years. And he was a guitarist, a brilliant musician, actually. He could play anything, pick up any instrument and make it sing, And shortly after we started dating, he put the bass in my hands. So I've been playing now for about 14 years. And that was the first time I played rock music was with him, and we started our own original band that we had for 14 years. About thereabouts. That band split up last year, but that
shit happens.
Shit happens.
Yeah.
Well, when you're dating your bandmate,
Lots
and then
happens.
you're right. Then that we broke up. We dated for 9 years. We broke up about 5.5 years ago, but kept playing music together until last year, and then I started doing my own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds awkward.
It was.
Yeah.
But I loved the music. I will say that. Like our old band was called Mythago, and it sort of had like a proggy rock vibe. I called it art house rock because it was very like, we were doing visual art and whatever, we felt like doing. And it was such an artistic endeavor. So I call it art house rock. Even to this day, I'll call my music art house rock. But Mythago I love that music. It was just after so long, you just stop being able to tolerate your ex. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
Because how much of that do you think you've carried over to your new music?
Well, it certainly influenced me. In fact, most of the songs that I wrote on this EP, I wrote over the course of several years. Initially, I wasn't thinking about putting an EP together. It was just songs that I was writing as I was sort of integrating myself, so to speak. There's sort of a backstory here. That ex-boyfriend and I, we dated for 9 years. And when we broke up, it was sort of a codependent relationship.
Sounds healthy.
Totally, man. Totally that. It sort of left me feeling like I didn't know who I was, and sort of starting over from scratch, from rock bottom. And of course, when we broke up, just a few months later, COVID lockdown started. So at that point in my life, it was like I had no hope, and I had to just sort of rebuild myself from there. And so over the course of the last 5.5 years, I made a lot of mistakes and had to sort of come to realize that I had demons, a lot of things that I had stayed buried beneath the surface as a result of that relationship.
Yeah.
Really, ultimately, having gone through that breakup, it was one of the hardest things I ever did in my life. And it revealed to me a lot of instability, a lot of dark matter.
Yeah. And now you're in this phase of spiritual growth. You've got your shadow self-portrait. That's obviously a very witchy psychological title. So.
Oh yeah. Well, and it's the story of integrating, things that I was going through. It's really like that EP is a result of me processing my demons, right?
Yes.
And trying to understand what those fears and insecurities were. And, I made so many mistakes over the last several years, hurt a lot of people, not intentionally trying to hurt them, but just trying to
That's so big
stop
of
hurting.
you to say. Like, that's a really big thing for me is accountability. Like, I really try to go out of my way to be like, hey, I fucked up.
Right.
That's like so important, and it shows like emotional maturity, you know.
A lot of these songs were the result of me realizing that if I was going to grow as a person and not continue to suffer the same way I had been, that I had to be really, really brutally honest with myself.
Yeah.
And
That's a beautiful thing.
it is beautiful. It's painful.
Yeah.
It's very painful. And but it's, that pain sort of reminds you of who you are, right?
You familiar with I think it's called kintsukuroi. It's like a
I'm not.
it's like it's a Japanese art style. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-mm.
It's like so you shatter a vase and then you like put it back together with gold. So it's like all cracked, but it's been reassembled, and now it's like stronger, and also it's more beautiful.
And not only that, it's unique because it's not always gonna crack.
Yeah.
It's not gonna crack the same.
You know what that reminds me of? I do acrylic flow painting,
Nice.
which has that sort of a element of random or chance to it, and I love that because
kind of like stream of consciousness kind of thing.
Yeah, and like you can sort of control how it turns out, but ultimately it's going to keep flowing until it dries, and so you don't exactly know what the finished product is going to be until it is finished, right?
Yeah.
And I love that. Anything that has that element of chance to it, because life is also full of that.
It's kintsugi.
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 Kintsugi. Okay. Sorry. Kintsugi.
Kintsugi.
Yeah.
Okay.
I must be saying it wrong. Jenny would know better than I would.
I love
Thank
that.
you, Jenny.
I love that idea of shattering into like random pieces and then
all the best people have been broken and put back together,
Like, so many times too, it's like life is not a clean one and done process, and like there's been so many missteps that I've had, where it's like, I think I'm growing, and then I just do something really.
That's like I hope I never get to a point where I'm like, oh, I've figured it out. I'm done learning now.
Yeah.
I hope I'm 80 years old and still like a child mind kind of.
Well, I've come to accept I'm a Virgo, right? So like there's an amount of like, I do like to do things right. And then I just got so messy. Everything got so messy, and just realizing that, okay, you know what? I'm never gonna have this figured out. I have no fucking idea what I'm doing ever, and just gonna do whatever, do it the best I can and hope for the best. But
that's all we can
messy,
do. Life's messy.
Life is so messy.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So if we can go back to are your parents still Catholic?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have siblings?
I do. I'm the baby of 5.
Oh shit. Okay, big family. Big
family.
Catholic family.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's not, my mom is the second of 12 kids.
Oh damn.
So that's
I mean, that's crazy.
That's wild.
Oh my God, my poor grandmother. But yeah, my family's Catholic. I think my mom is really the only one who still goes to church, but she's dedicated and she cantors, she's lead singer essentially for the congregation,
Any of your siblings musicians?
Not to the extent that I am. Like, my sister and I, we used to, actually my mom and my sister and I, we used to sit around and sing in 3-part harmonies all the time. And my sister played guitar when I was growing up. And so we would sit and sing, Beatles songs or something, and folk songs and a lot of that stuff. But I think that my mom is really the one person who is dedicatedly still goes to church like that.
Gotcha. My parents are also very religious.
Are they? What?
I was raised Jehovah's Witness.
Oh wow. Okay.
My parents and my sister are like deep in it.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a good relationship though.
That's awesome.
Which is kind of unheard of coming out of that. So
yeah,
I'm very fortunate.
I had a friend in high school who was gay, who was Jehovah's Witness, and he got excommunicated. Oh, it was, it was really painful to watch.
It's like me being able to, especially because of like the shit I do, me being able to have a relationship with my family is like totally unheard of with that kind of stuff. There's a lot of people I know that their parents will have just completely cut them off. So
Well, it's beautiful that you still have that.
I have my parents are like actually Christian, so they're like, fuck the rules, like I'm gonna do what's right.
Yeah. I admire that so much because it's like, you got your dogmatic religious people, and then you have your people who recognize the principles within themselves, and like they, instead of going by some prescribed dogma that doesn't make any sense, that's sort of like, it, you know,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. My family is like actually trying to save the world. Like they're knocking on people's doors because they think that they're like saving people's eternal lives, which is like fucking heavy, Like I don't agree
with the way they're doing it.
Yeah, I don't agree with which part don't I agree with? Maybe. Yeah, they don't understand the Bible for what it is. That's all Christians. And I sound like, oh, I do, but I kind of do. It's like way more, it's a fucking grimoire. It's a book of shadows. It's ancient Jewish magic. Like that shit is like not what Christians think it is, but that's a whole thing.
Right. But there are principles in in Christianity, in all of the major religions, there are certain principles, right? That I feel like
for sure. Across all religions, there's a lot of value.
There's it's those basic principles of like, like treat other people right and, do your best, contribute to the community, whatever. Yeah. That's my paraphrasing of it, but be a good person.
Yeah.
Nobody's like a saint, right? But you just like, you do your best to,
I really like the Bible. I just don't really like Christianity. Yeah. It's the organized aspect. It's like the monetized aspect to it, the cult stuff.
Yeah, like, my Catholic upbringing, like I would say that it is still inside of me. Like, I was raised that way, and like there's certain aspects of. Yeah. I don't consider myself a Catholic, but I do feel like it has influenced my spiritual life, and I would definitely consider myself to be a deeply spiritual person. But it's my own personal relationship with, the mystery or the divine or whatever you want to call it, Yeah. So I feel like that's the way for me.
So let's talk about it. At this point in your life, I mean, and nobody knows, right?
But nobody knows nothing.
But what do you think happens after we die? Like, what makes the most sense to you? And again, nobody knows.
I have no idea.
Me either.
To me, it almost doesn't matter.
That's the best answer, right?
Well,
it doesn't matter.
It's my answer. What matter? I mean, I guess it doesn't matter in the sense that, like, you have to live with the mystery. And it is a mystery. Like life is mysterious, death is mysterious for sure. Yeah. And I don't know what happens. So to the best of my ability, I can just sort of deal with what's in front of me, which is what's going on while I'm alive, what I'm doing with my life.
That's the way to be. It, whatever it is that waits for us, it shouldn't affect what decisions we make now.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and I've had some ideas. I've thought about it, like, like the universe is, we're made of stardust, and like consciousness is like everything, those kind of things. But it, ultimately, what happens to us when we die, it's probably, how do I know it's not just the same as being alive? I don't know. Maybe it is. Right. Maybe it's more alive. I don't know.
This could be level 1, and then we like progress to level 2, and it's just a different version of this or something.
Who knows? Yeah. I like the idea that nobody knows.
Yeah.
It's very scary.
It is.
It's very frightening, and I think that that's where a lot of the dogmatic religious stuff, like, tries to fill that void. But the truth is that we all have that void. Nobody knows.
It's like a nice thing to tell ourselves because it is like an existential fear. Mm-hmm. Like the first ape that took mushrooms is like, wait, what the fuck?
Right.
And then they're like, I'm losing my fucking mind. I need to like just figure out what I believe and then put it away so I don't have
Yeah,
to
he's
think
like
about it anymore.
he's like Papa Ape died. But where did he
Where
go?
Papa
Did
Ape
you
go?
all see that Onion thing with the gorilla that they taught about its death? Have you all seen that?
No.
Oh my god, this has
I
been
love
popping up on my
Onion.
Instagram. It's like they taught a gorilla that it's going to die. You know, first they taught it red block, blue block, yellow block, and then slowly they started showing it, you know, pictures of dead gorillas and being like, "This will be you one day." And the gorilla starts. It's like, I don't want to live. It's just it's.
Existential depression.
Oh my god, a gorilla existential.
That's hilarious. That's awesome.
Yeah, I might have to find that. I don't know.
So what do you think about aliens?
What do I think about aliens? Well, I haven't met any that I know of. I don't know.
That you know of.
Maybe we're all aliens. I don't know, but
Yeah, I guess what I really mean is
what do I think about aliens?
it's kind of a stupid question. What I really mean is, do you think they've been here?
Oh, okay.
And again, who fucking knows, right?
Who fucking knows? I know that there are people who've had experiences that I believe that they've had that experience, right? I believe in the veracity of their story. You know, they are people that I believe.
I mean, you at least trust them that they're not lying.
I trust that they're not lying. I
Yeah.
trust that they had an experience, and I don't know what that experience is. I don't know if it's a matter of what's inside of our consciousness, or if it's a physical reality, or maybe both. Maybe
Like a misunderstanding of what they see or whatever, but still, like they're not lying to use the point.
well, and you know, even if they're totally interpreting it right, it's like, how do you interpret something that you don't understand? I think that they have experienced something. I have not.
Yeah.
So I've watched all the Ancient Aliens. I'm all about it. Like, I'm
Aliens.
like, why not? You know, when it comes to this stuff that like nobody knows, I'm totally open to it, but it's like, you know, I try not to let it.
It's good to be open-minded.
Well, yeah, and it's interesting, you know, and like the theories about like the ancient aliens coming down and imparting us with knowledge and being the gods and everything, you know,
like pyramids and stuff.
I love it, you know, and it's like, and if you think about it too, like those ancient civilizations, I mean, how did they get the knowledge, right? Well, they're smarter than we like to think.
Oh,
you know,
they're smarter than us.
Well, they're very smart. Maybe smart in a whole nother way. Maybe they're using a whole different part of the brain than we're used to using in modern. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like, you know, was it aliens? Sure, why not? I don't know.
Potentially.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
Well, also,
like,
potentially, people did that all on their own.
yeah, it could be that human beings are much more sophisticated over the course of like hundreds and thousands of years, you know. I don't know.
I mean, imagine the stuff we could be doing if we didn't have phones. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Imagine the stuff that we could do with our phones.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
we're doing it.
Yeah, but we're playing games instead.
That's a good point too. Like we wouldn't be able to have all of this without it, but we'd also, it stunts us. Like we'd be doing other stuff if we didn't have it.
It's the challenge of our times. I'm sure the people who built the pyramids were having different challenges that were related to what they were experiencing. You know, like their lives, you know, it's over.
They didn't have ACs, so
we don't know that. We don't know that. You know, they found all those coils beneath the pyramid or something. I saw it on
the pyramids is a giant
air conditioner.
Yeah,
it's a big fridge
for the big desert. Yeah, they were.
You'd want that
big triangle fridge.
I mean, if you lived in that area, you'd want that.
It's like we have to figure out how to make the air cold. It's too fucking hot.
I like the heat, you know, personally. I mean, I don't know about desert heat. I've only
desert heat is a whole.
I've only lived in the eastern United States, so it's all, but humid heat. But what is the desert heat like?
Yeah,
I feel like desert heat is better than humid heat.
We have it worse here. It's like, I hate summer here.
I've got relatives who live in like Las Vegas, and every time they visit here, they're like dying. And it's the middle of summer, and they're like, I remember being a kid and being like, what's wrong with you? You live in the desert, come on.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's different here.
It is.
They can't breathe. And I'm like,
I mean, it's true. It's true.
We have it. Yeah, it's the fucking worst. I mean, there are areas that are worse, right? Like we don't live in the fucking Amazon. Like that
Thank
That's actually,
God.
yeah.
Like you live in a rainforest and it's 100 degrees.
God.
Like you're gonna get dehydrated. You're just gonna die of dehydration.
Yeah. Well,
So there's wetness all over you.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
great
there is.
irony of that climate.
So, ghost stories. You said you had some interesting dreams earlier before.
I've had interesting dreams, but they're not ghost related.
When I say that, I really mean as I guess just paranormal,
Metaphysical.
supernatural. And I think dreams count because what the
Okay.
fuck are dreams?
Well, I've had some very impactful dreams for sure. I feel like I've had weird things happen that seem paranormal. I can't even think of one right now because, after I've done so much acid and mushrooms, like it seems like the supernatural just becomes a part of life or something. I don't know.
All of a sudden it's natural. Yeah.
But I've definitely had dreams that were very impactful for me. Like, in fact, I don't dream every night that I can recall. But when I do, usually it's something really spiritually significant, right? And I remember when I first went through that breakup with that guy, and I was like at rock bottom and just like I was kind of out of my mind. I didn't know any of that. It was bad. But I remember I had a dream at that point where I was on a road in like downtown Louisville, right? And I looked to my right down one road, part of the intersection, and there were all these protester people. I think this was sort of like during the time of Black Lives Matter.
Oh, okay.
That might have been what was going on, or like maybe zombies. It's been a while, but I remember scary people over here, right? I couldn't go behind me because there was something chasing after me. There was like a brick wall on my left, and then straight ahead, there was a bridge, but it wasn't completed yet. And there was a bridge, in Louisville, there's those bridges that go into Indiana. It was like one of those bridges, but there was a bridge and it was under construction, but it didn't go anywhere yet, it was incomplete. So
you were still driving towards it.
I was walking towards it. I didn't have, it was like I was slow process and it was scary people over here and scary things behind me. Can't go this way. All I can do is go forward on and I couldn't even really go anywhere on that bridge. That bridge was yet to be completed. And like in hindsight, that was sort of like one of those moments where it's like, okay, that bridge to the future isn't yet complete. I've got some work to do for that time.
Okay. Yeah.
That's how that felt significant.
You gotta build your own road or build your own bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to know another dream that I had a few years ago? And this one is the one that I carry with me to this day. Like I was in the middle of a big crisis. I had made some really bad choices. I cheated on somebody, on a boyfriend that I had for a couple of years. This was like a different boyfriend that I started dating after that one guy. We dated for a couple of years and I cheated on him with who turned out to be a psychopath, right? But that happened. I was dealing with the psychopath person and then having cheated on this other guy and just like feeling like a total piece of shit. And like, I was nothing but a fuck up. And I had a dream one night in the midst of all of that. And it was crazy. It was a thunderstorm, crazy thunderstorm. And I was out there in a rain suit with a bunch of people. We were building tracks, like railroad tracks, right? Mm-hmm. And it was like crisis, thunderstorm, crazy. And they're like saying, we gotta stop. And I'm like, no, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep building this track.
Goddamn right.
And I remember looking back on the track, and the track looked less like a railroad track and more like a roller coaster. It was all like, whoa. But it was built, and it led into, oh, this is amazing. It led into a palace, right? This track led into a palace, and in the dream I knew that I had also built the palace, right? You also built the palace. And it was one of those crazy dreams where like, I made this happen. I got it there. It was twisty and turny and like full of You know, I didn't know if it was going to be able to be done, but I did it. And it led into something beautiful that I built. And I mean, you know, dream went from there. And it was just like one of those things that, like, even to this day, it's like, okay, when things get crazy, you know, I think about, okay, I can build this track. I can get there. I can make something beautiful. So that sort of that dream really impacted me at that time though, because like I was really in the middle of a dark place, you know, and just totally feeling like a fuck up.
All of this reminds me of uh like the book of Exodus, like Moses and Joshua, like getting to the promised land kind of thing. And the path is not clear,
Right.
and you have to get to that place. And it's not like
the way is never clear.
Yeah.
You just have to keep going and keep trying.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it kind of ties to your last dream. And you said, okay, so this dream was before your other dream, the one with the bridge, right?
The bridge was before the.
Okay.
The bridge was before this one.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that makes sense because this is like almost like the second part of it.
Right. You know what? I hadn't put that together yet, but
Yeah, the chronology is like the first one's the bridge is not finished. Second one is you're finishing. You're like, no, we're
I'm
finishing
finishing
this
this.
fucking railroad.
And this is what it's going to lead to.
Which is a
know?
palace.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny, like I thought about that bridge dream, the bridge that was not complete yet. I've thought about that and seeing how far I've come over the last 5.5 years since that rock bottom, you know, and like seeing, I mean, it's been, I feel like I built that bridge to the future and I'm still sort of working on my, that dream life, you know, I'm still in that one, still in process, in progress, but,
Same.
but I know that like that bridge away from the scary craziness, because, you know, like ultimately you have to confront the scary craziness, right? I felt like those scary, crazy protester zombie people were like the demons that I was about to confront, you know, at that point in my life. And then a couple years later, I have this dream, and it's like my subconscious almost reminding me that, like, no, you know, do the work and you'll get there.
You still have to resolve this.
Just keep working, and you'll get there, and it'll be beautiful.
So the music you're making, especially this EP, do you consider that part of the bridge or part of the palace?
Good question.
Oh, I would say that it's part of all of it. Well, it's not the palace. I would say, you know, the palace, I have yet to, you know, like it's not like my life isn't beautiful or anything. I'm just saying that like it's about the process.
So it's part of the bridge. Part of
journey,
it's part of the
destination.
yeah, it's a part of building. Yeah, it's the building, you know, and building really by confronting the shadows. You know, it's shadow self-portrait. So it's like confronting the evil, scary people over here so I can keep building this bridge. And like I would say that.
Well, because you kind of need that pressure because like, so we were talking about death earlier, right? And the one reason I don't want people to know about afterlife is because it kind of puts pressure on you to actually do stuff. Like maybe you would never build that bridge if you didn't have people or things pressuring you towards that. And if we knew for sure there was like an afterlife, maybe we wouldn't feel as pressure to like actually do something now.
Right.
Because we'd be like, oh, I mean, it's fine. It's fine if this life doesn't lead to anything. I mean, we have like the afterlife anyways.
You know, I've never had that kind of comfort of the afterlife. I mean, even with the Catholic upbringing, like nothing, you know, it's like when it comes to how I feel in the moment, like I feel like I feel things very intensely and like I'm guided by my feelings.
Virgo.
And Virgo. I know. I'm a Virgo Cancer, by the way. So,
oh shit!
Yeah.
So ascendant Cancer, Moon Cancer. Nice.
So very, very feeling.
That's all.
Emotional.
That's
and
Earth, water.
Earth, water. Yeah. So highly emotional. You know, and I feel things very deeply. So when I'm feeling the way I feel, that's what's important, right? And, you know, that's what needs to be addressed. You know, I've come to a different understanding of my feelings more recently, and the urgency and everything, but it's what guides me. So there's no afterlife. All I'm experiencing now is what I'm experiencing.
Facts.
and like that's what matters. That's what I have to address.
That is so true. That is so true. It's like that's something I'm aware of, but it's hard. I have a hard time sometimes, like being in the moment, like being present.
Oh,
Oh, that
No,
was a
ignore
ghost.
it. That was, yeah.
Was that a ghost?
It's just a ghost.
Yeah.
oh,
don't
cool.
worry.
No big deal.
Hey, nothing supernatural, right?
Yeah.
As long as you don't feed it, it'll go away eventually.
Hey,
It's just one of the random figurines. that fell
let's
down.
see which one it is.
That's an Italian. That's an Italian man. Slightly homosexual, but only slightly.
Slightly?
Oh, okay.
I mean, if you say so.
That was crazy. Yeah. All right, so we just had a homosexual man
Hey guys.
fall right behind me. Okay, anyway, what you were saying.
This is
Oh, it's
this
hard
is
to be
okay.
present.
Wait.
Here, do something with it.
This is the way a Japanese man like interprets an Italian man.
I mean, accurate.
Okay.
There's like their idea of an Italian man.
I mean, they're not wrong.
They're
Like, Italians are kind of flamboyant. It's like, are you gay or just from Europe?
All right.
Are you gay or are you a fashion designer from Europe? But
Yeah.
what's the difference?
As
Yeah.
long as you got your hand right here. So cool. Oh my god.
It's just hard for me to be in the moment. Like I daydream a lot, like a lot of melancholy. Get hung up on the past and like yeah. But
I feel you.
it's like a constant effort to like just hold on to the moment because it's like you're saying there is no afterlife, there is no future, there is no past. There's right the fuck here.
Right. And that is something I struggle with. I usually catastrophize about the future. That's like a big,
Yeah.
one of my big, I have a hard time staying grounded in the moment when things feel like they're piling up for sure. When I get stressed out about life, and money and, how am I going to survive this or, deal with trying to put my EP out there, like those things. It's just like, sometimes that gets me really anxious. So I feel you,
Yeah.
and staying grounded in the moment, I'd say that is an art for, I mean, if anybody does it just like, that's just what they do. That's just their personality. Good for them. I don't know how that works, but like I would say there's an art to it.
For sure. How do you stay in the moment? Do you
You seem very grounded and very
he
like
is.
peaceful.
You just forget.
Just let go.
Yeah, just forget about the past and the
Just
future.
have a bad memory. Got it. Just
Oh.
head trauma.
No, don't take that.
Is it like compartmentalized? What are you doing here? What's your secret?
That's the
Compartmentalized.
fancier way of saying it.
Oh my god, I don't do that very well. Everything runs together for me.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like it's like whatever's going on, and it all just like.
I mean, it take okay. So you have to take into account like you guys are saying stuff like we don't know what comes after or whatever, right?
Mhm.
And okay, would you be fine with nothing coming afterwards?
Yeah.
But truly.
Yeah.
Truly.
She
But
said,
truly,
yeah.
I'm saying, yeah.
You're like
I think I'm okay with that.
Because I feel like okay, for someone to truly believe that, there would
He's
be
like,
they would
I don't fucking believe you.
for someone to
funny.
truly believe that, they would have way less stress in their life.
No, life is what stresses me out.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
but
Death
the-
is not what stresses me out.
Yeah. But life eventually becomes almost like nothingness if you truly don't believe anything comes afterwards.
I
I'm
totally
sorry.
disagree. I think
The immediacy of the moment is always takes precedence over like whatever comes after.
I think if there's
or the immediacy of the moment. I'm over here stressing about the future, but it's just like whatever I'm feeling right now.
Yeah.
That matters more than whether or not
yeah.
the afterlife affects me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that doesn't mean not to be like the best I can be. That's the only way to address the problems of now, right? Is try to be the best. But it's like, if nothing happens afterwards, okay. If something happens afterwards, okay. I don't know what's gonna happen, so
Yeah. It sounds like you're saying that if there's nothing after this, then this doesn't matter. But I think if there's nothing after this, then this is all that matters.
Yeah, but then what are you choosing to be that thing that matters? If you're just choosing stress, then that's like
You know,
That's not
there's
all I'm choosing.
No, that's not. I'm not. That's not a critique on you
I'm not
guys.
trying to pick your.
Because I'm not criticizing
no,
you.
pick on him, do it.
I'm not picking on you or
No,
you.
no, no, no.
But there were definitely people like that like choose stress and like focusing purely on their like work or
Well,
purely
here's the
on
thing, right? There's like the pursuit of happiness is a worthwhile goal, but it's not the only thing to do here. There's also like not you we have a duty as people to be a shepherd to the earth, to take care of the earth, to take care of each other. And also, it is our duty to be as happy as possible. That's our obligation. So, but it's more than just being happy. We have an obligation, a sacred duty to take care of ourselves and others as much as we can.
Right, and I think you're talking about happiness not in the form of gratification per se, but in the pursuit of a higher ideal, right?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Like it's like if I hope that if I live to be old, that I can look back on my life and say that I've lived a fulfilling life. Like I don't. And that way, when I die, I can die with the knowledge that I did that.
they did, yeah.
As opposed to like worrying about, what God thinks about me, because, God made me. God damn it. Like come on, right? Like it's just your fault or whatever. I don't know. It's like I don't really believe in any pearly gates. I can say that, but I do believe that whatever could happen and beyond would be like whatever that possibility is. Maybe it's bliss. Maybe I don't know.
Have you guys ever thought about looking at your life as like a movie?
I think I'm a character sometimes. I'm able to kind of like look outside of myself and see myself.
I mean, I would say that this EP is sort of like that. Because it's a story,
Okay.
and it's not quite a story as much as it is me feeling my feelings, but like the periods of time encapsulated in these songs where I'm like trying to deal with myself. It's like that is very much like a character or like memoir or just it's something to observe.
Mm-hmm. But you're trying to put it out for other people to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and because I don't think my experience is
unique, or
I mean, it's unique to me because it's my life, but I don't think that I think that a lot of what I feel and have felt and what I've dealt with about myself, it's not unique to me. No, I feel like a lot of, because like the themes I'm dealing with in these songs are like, being afraid of being unlovable and being the bad guy, of, not getting anywhere, being afraid of like not being enough, right? And I think that a lot of people, whether they know it or not,
yeah,
deal with those kind of
and that could really help someone doing that.
Maybe. I mean, if nothing else, it's like if I know I can't be the only one, so
I can say for a fact I would not be here without live music. So you never know what kind of impact you're having on people, Like,
well, yeah, it's like I think that anybody who's felt unlovable or afraid of being unlovable, it's like it's okay. That's a human experience, it's part of the human condition, perhaps.
Yeah, that's the human story, right?
Right.
We all go through it.
It might not be everybody's primary demon, as it has been for me, but that's been one of the big ones for me. The Virgo perfectionism, sort of, and like being afraid to get messy and having to deal with the fact that I am messy. When you're a very emotional person, it's messy. You know, like, and it's not like it's a bad thing. It's just it's messy. And life is messy.
Life is fucking messy.
There's a story to that. Like my life is a story to me. The things that I dealt with, they've helped shape me. So it's like a movie.
Yeah, it's like a movie.
When was the last time you cried?
Yesterday.
Crying is helpful.
I cry a lot.
Okay, what about you, Alex?
I didn't say it like a dig.
Well, what was the last
Crying
time you
is
cried?
crying is good. Let me think. Probably during a movie.
Okay.
Let me think. Let me think. I mean, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I'm sorry.
No, not at all. I cry a
That is
lot.
kind of an on the spot question, but
Well, I am a woman too. Like, I'm not trying to say that women are like whatever. I'm just saying that, like, I mean, there's the cycles, and
sure.
man, when I feel a way, I feel it.
Hmm.
I feel it really hard. And I feel those ways pretty regularly, all the ways.
You guys have it right. I feel like if we cried a lot more, a lot of men would be killing or like killing other men and killing themselves. If we like just cried a little bit more.
This has some emotional vulnerability.
Well, I think there's a time and place for it, as well. But like, man, I had a major, like, straight up anxiety attack like a couple of weeks ago, and I was like in my bed, just like, ah, and maybe it was tied in with my cycle. I don't know, but I was freaking out about life, and this happens regularly. So it's not
Yeah.
like, and I've also, I've experienced a lot of pain and difficulties, and I think about them every day. And sometimes it makes me cry a little bit, usually when I'm by myself.
Mm.
And it's not that like I'm holding on to those things. It's just I know those things shaped me. So, they're important. They're part of my story. And I'm okay with feeling sad and crying.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna happen.
It is going to happen.
We need
It
outlets.
happens.
We need outlets
Yeah.
for it. Can't bottle that shit up. I don't know to answer your question, David. Probably when we're watching Get Down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that one always gets. Yeah, it was.
You were
It was-
tearing up a little bit.
Yeah, that one fucks with me. Have you ever seen the Get Down? It's on Netflix.
I don't watch.
It's my favorite.
I don't watch
show.
a whole lot.
Yeah.
I'm actually like, if you ask me if I've seen The Matrix. That might be the last movie I ever saw.
Holy shit.
Wait, no shot.
I'm just kidding.
That's
I'm
wild.
kidding.
Did you at least finish the trilogy, or you just?
I did
stopped?
finish the trilogy, but
Okay,
the first
okay.
one's the only one that matters.
Have you seen the fourth one? Came out during COVID.
No,
It's
I haven't
not
known.
good.
No, it's not.
It's real bad.
the second and third one sucked. So,
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. The
No.
series does not really like have a good track record.
Yeah, man, that first one though, that was really good. It came out when I was like 9. The first Matrix, that dates me a little bit. Not that I'm old. But yeah, like I remember loving that movie because it was like it. I remember being a kid, like 7 years old, and saying to my mom, "What if we just wake up somewhere else?" And like it turns out that life was just like a reality that we're observing from another place, but in an Avatar way. And then Avatar came out, of course, and it's like, okay, I'm not the only one who's thought
I'm just gonna show this
these
thing.
things. Oh, Neo. Oh my
Yes.
god, that Neo bust.
Neo bus.
Neil's gonna make me bust.
Great Greek art.
That's the Greek art of our generation.
No, no. The Neo
So-
bust.
Don't watch a lot of movies. What kind of media do you consume?
Play music.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even
What do you
honestly.
listen-
I'm kind of the worst about all of it. Like if I'm driving in my car, I listen to a lot of silence in the inside of my head.
Whoa, I don't
But
know
I
what
do
that's
listen-
like.
That's kind of
That
scary.
sounds
That's kind of
fucking
scary. What
It
the
is a little
fuck?
Yeah.
scary, but the inside of my head is scary. But I'm very comfortable
Good for you.
there.
See, we like to play stuff to not think about that.
Yeah.
Well, I find it very distracting from my thoughts. So it's like, but I'll watch
That's the point.
podcasts. I find that very irritating and upsetting. So I'm like, no, whatever's going on inside here is way more important than whatever I can.
That's probably a way better way of.
That's healthier than the disassociation me and you do.
I mean,
Yeah.
but I do listen to music, and I do watch movies.
See, we're the kind of people who will play a video game and then play a video while we're playing that video game
Yeah.
just to have even more sound. Like,
Just make sure no thoughts get through
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah, I let podcasts run in the background while I'm at home, or like, my favorite band of all time is Ween.
Oh hell yeah.
I fucking love Ween. They're my favorite
Green
band.
is great.
They're fucking awesome. That will always be my favorite band.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of people make fun of me for that too, which is okay.
Ween's awesome.
I love Ween. They always make me feel better. no matter what, because it's like even if it's a serious song, it's not so serious that it's not silly in a way. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, that is one thing I really appreciate about Ween is that it's always helped me have a sense of humor in the dark times. You know, so I love Ween, and I will always love Ween.
What do you think humanity's future is in like 50 years?
God, I don't know. I don't fucking care.
Say, I'm not gonna be
I
here.
care about my
Doesn't
future
matter.
in 50 years, but humanity, whatever. I'll be there.
It's kind of
or
tied
not.
together, right?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Maybe.
I mean, what do I think it'll be? I have no idea. AI. I don't know.
That seems inevitable.
Yeah, but
for
I
sure.
also don't think it. I mean, it'll be different, but probably not like
Not as different as like sci-fi movies always make it be. Like
I don't
watching Back
know.
to the Future and they've got hoverboards. So
Have you ever
it's-
watched any Terrence McKenna? Like,
Oh, yeah. Oh,
you know, and
You wanna hear-
his time wave zero thing. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe that's happening, and I just don't know it. I don't know. I'm in the middle of. I'm in the midst of it. So.
You're my best friend now that you said Terrence McKenna.
I love Terrence McKenna.
You want to hear my McKenna impression?
Okay, do it.
And the elves, they bring you these gifts and they say, do what we are doing.
That's a pretty damn good Terrence McKenna impression.
You know who that is?
No idea. But he sounds funny.
He was an ethnobotanist.
Yeah.
The hell is that?
Dude, he was a fucking psychonaut and like an actual scientist.
So
Yeah.
he did the DMT and explored the DMT realms. You know what DMT is?
Yeah, I know that.
Okay. So he did all that, and he came up with this theories. He came up with the stoned ape theory, which is the theory that human beings evolved our conscious mind through the apes eating psychedelic mushrooms.
Psilocybin hispanica.
Yeah. So that was a Terrence McKenna thing. He's really a fascinating character, and he had a lot of. He came up with this theory about time wave. I can't remember exactly what it was called, time wave zero, and he said that like in 2012, like everything was what is it, complexity. Things were going to get more and more complex until it couldn't get any more or something. I'm probably getting it wrong, but you know. Brush up on my Terrence McKenna again, but fascinating fellow.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no.
If I'm thinking of the same one, it was like things are gonna get so weird where it gets to a point where people can't ignore it anymore, and they have to kind of go, "What the fuck is going on?"
Right.
And we're getting there.
Novelty. He used that word novelty. That was his thing. It's like because we're constantly like part of human nature is to experience novelty because we're constantly seeking new experiences.
That's so true. Novelty is a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't say it was 2012. I would say it's closer to like 2016 or something.
What?
Well, he said that was an approximate date. He had I think the DMT elves kind of helped him come up with a calculation. You know, he encountered the elves, these beings, when you do DMT.
Because to me, it's like 2016, right when Trump came in. That's like when everything got weird.
Everything's always weird.
Well, I mean, that was definitely a weird moment.
Are things getting weirder?
That was like what I would say, because I would say that would be like the breakdown of institutions of like people believing in like things in general.
Without getting too political, I'll tell you what's fucking weird is Trump matrixing a bullet.
That was crazy, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. That was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
To the point where I'm like, that shit didn't happen. Like, I'm not saying it's staged. What I am saying,
without getting political,
I'm not saying.
I mean, no, because that was like nothing short of like miraculous.
That's my point.
You know, like I mean, you know.
I'm not saying it's staged. I'm saying we live in a fucking video game, and God has a hilarious sense of humor.
Well, obviously, He made all of us.
Yeah. Yeah, like yeah. Well,
not you guys.
Yeah.
No, He didn't make me.
I don't mean you all. I mean all of us.
I'm built different.
I'm built different. Oh shit.
I'm not one of you NPCs. Is that what you're thinking, Alex?
Yeah, I'm different. I'm built different. I'm cut from a different cloth. I'm not made by God. I'm made by Satan.
I'm exempt.
Exempt from being created. You just were.
I just exist. Whatever.
Hell yeah. I think probably this is not real. This is not real. There's too much.
It's not real.
You know Hunter S. Thompson?
Oh yeah, yeah. Actually, my old band, we headlined Hunter S. Thompson Festival in Louisville.
Whoa,
that was a
Years ago.
thing?
Yeah, it was called Gonzo Fest.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, Ron Whitehead, he was a National Beat Poet Laureate. He knew Hunter S. Thompson, and he put on this festival.
Me and you have been called gonzo journalism before. It's kind of, it's like there's some truth in it, but also we're fucking crazy. So yeah.
Oh yeah, you know, well the truth
There's a lot
is
of drugs
crazy.
involved.
And there's lots of drugs involved.
That's great. But if you think about it, I mean, reality is
crazy.
So it's not hard to do. No, I'm not saying it's not. That's not what I meant. Sorry.
No, I know what you mean.
You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly. No offense taken.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Well, Julia, thank you so much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
your time.
Appreciate it.
Shadow Self-Portrait out May 7th. Video for, I'm sorry, what's the name of the single again?
Myself Somewhere.
Myself Somewhere, out now.
On YouTube.
Yeah, check out the video. It's trippy as fuck. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Thank you.
And yeah, let's do this again sometime.
All right, cool.
You guys better listen to it, all right? The DMT elves will get you if you don't.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll hunt you.
I was gonna say it if you weren't. Watch out for the elves.
And we'll see you next week.